Khichdi is more than just a meal. It's a day of rest for you, for your digestion when it needs something light. It's something that should satisfy both your stomach and your mind. And today we'll be making just that. Khichdi, and also everything that goes along with it. I'm Shrikant Singh and welcome to our channel Happy Bellyfish. To be honest, there's no one recipe for khichdi. It changes from region to region and from one household to another in India. This recipe is as diverse as the country itself. The version that I'm going to show you today is how we make it at home. It's not very spicy and there are not a lot of ingredients used in it. But despite its simplicity, it's extremely flavorful. So let's start with the main dish, khichdi. So the portions that I'm going to give is for 2 people, and what I'm going to do here is take half a cup of this short grained rice and an equal amount of this moong dal. So we don't have to soak this, but we need to rinse this at least once. Every time you want to make a perfect khichdi, remember the final outcome should be very smooth and thick, porridge-like consistency, and it comes out only when you use the right type of rice and dal. The best rice to use here are short-grained rice varieties that are more starchy than basmati rice. But sometimes basmati can be the only rice available to you, so in that case, just cook with it to the best extent possible. The rice varieties that I use here are either Govindo Bhog rice or Indrayani rice or even Sona Masuri rice. The rice you must avoid for this type of khichdi is red or brown rice or even parboiled rice. The next ingredient is lentil, and the ones that's commonly used in making khichdi is green moong dal, yellow moong dal or masoor dal, which is pink lentils. Sometimes you can mix all these in equal proportions and create different variations. So we'll take around 2 tablespoons of ghee. You need to be really generous with the amount of ghee that you're using. And to this we will add these whole spices. This is tej patta, and if you don't have it, you can add cinnamon and some cloves, like around 4 to 5 of them. You don't have to add a lot. If you have green cardamom, then you can add around 2 or 3. It just gives a very nice aroma to the khichdi. And about 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, whole jeera and not the powdered one. We'll let this bloom in the oil for some time, like around 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending on how hot the oil is. And I cook on medium heat. It's not too hot. The oil should not smoke for me. The cumin seeds are starting to pop, and this is when we are going to add the soaked dal and rice. So in goes the dal and the soaked rice. And without adding any water, we'll just stir fry, you can say, the dal and the rice. This actually brings out the aroma of this particular lentil a lot. Now I'm going to add around 3 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and if you like, then you can add half a teaspoon of coriander powder. If you don't like coriander, some people don't, you don't have to. So we'll mix it and then just let it boil until the rice and the lentil, they are cooked. So we can keep this covered at the beginning so that the water can come to a boil quickly. And when you start seeing it foaming or frothing, then just remove the lid, otherwise it will overflow and just make a whole mess in the kitchen. So while the khichdi cooks, we will prepare the sides. We will first put some potatoes to boil, and while that happens, we'll make the coriander chutney. So take a bunch of fresh coriander leaves, wash and chop it coarsely. Now to a blender, add about 2 cups of chopped coriander leaves. To this, add about a teaspoon of garlic. Add a small green chili, and if you don't like it hot, you can remove the seeds, but definitely break the stem and then just add the whole thing to the blender. Add about half a teaspoon of salt and squeeze in some lemon juice. We'll be blending this first without adding any water. This is where people do mistake. They add a lot of water and then they end up with a coriander smoothie that no one wants to drink. So first blend it coarsely. It should look something like this. And now I'm going to add around a tablespoon of water to get this smooth and thick chutney. So the coriander chutney that we serve with khichdi has to be really thick. And we serve just a little bit of it, not like, the whole bowl of it, just a tablespoon of it as a digestive. Now you don't serve khichdi with a salad. Some people like cucumber, but the only dressing that goes on the top is salt. And if you wish your salad could be more interesting, then check out my salad ebook on our website. The link is in the description. So let's check our khichdi in between so that it doesn't burn. Now, if you were to use a pressure cooker, this cooks really fast, sometimes under 10 minutes. Electric pressure cooker or Instapot, this will take longer, but it keeps you free from worrying about the khichdi burning there while you're doing the other things. And you can already see how much the khichdi is expanding in the pot. But it's not yet ready. You are still able to see the grain of the rice and the dal, and it has to melt on its own. And if more water is required, you can always add it at this stage. What I'm going to do now is add about a cup of water more and let it boil for some more time. The only reason you need to keep stirring it time and again is that it doesn't stick at the bottom of the pan. No matter how much water you might have, if something sticks to the bottom, it will start ruining your khichdi completely. So it still needs to boil for some more time, and we will let this simmer until it's completely cooked and mushy. We are going to serve our khichdi with mashed potatoes, the Bihari style. So for that you will need boiled potatoes. I have boiled these potatoes earlier. What we have to do is peel the skin. Even if you're using organic potatoes, guys, you need to take the skin off. It will give a smoother mashed potato, or we call it chokha actually. Calling it mashed potato is like a blasphemy. The skin has to come off easily. That's when it's perfectly boiled, and you can see that the knife just goes through. So I'm going to now just slice this into smaller pieces. This will make it easier to mash. And chokha is like one of those sides without which a khichdi is literally incomplete. If you don't have this, at least in our home, then there is something missing in the khichdi. And to make this chokha, you don't need much. You just need some garlic, some fresh green chili, raw onion. Yes, and even those people who hate raw onions, they will fall in love with it when you eat this with the potatoes. And if you don't like it too spicy, you can remove the seeds. So I'm going to remove the seeds from one of them and keep the other one as it is. All we have to do now is add the onion, the chili, and the chopped garlic. And the most important thing that goes into chokha is actually mustard oil. This is cold pressed mustard oil, or kachi ghani as we call it. We use this a lot in Bihar and Bengal. It's banned in US and Canada, but if you don't have mustard oil, you can always use extra virgin olive oil. And we will mash this together now. And to do that, you can either use a fork, you can also use a potato masher, or the way we do it is that we use this tumbler, this stainless steel tumbler, and mash it. It's much faster and easier. This is like use it to drink water, and it's also a potato masher, 2 in 1. So in many recipes, people also fry the onion, garlic, and the chili. They also add some spices. But we don't do that in our home. We just use the raw ones, raw onion, garlic, and chili. And we love the intensity of the flavor. So there goes the coriander inside, and all we have to do is mix it. Usually what we do is we just leave it as it is. At the time of serving, we mix it. That way the coriander, the crunch in it still remains intact. At the time of serving, you need to make small ball of it and then serve it on the plate. Now it's time for us to check if the khichdi is done. And yes, it looks like it is. So we like the khichdi to be like this, more like on the thinner side. Some people love it thick. So if you want to thicken it, all you have to do is just remove the lid and simmer it for some time, and it will naturally thicken. So you can see how nicely everything has cooked together, and you can leave the khichdi as it is here, or you can temper it and get some additional flavor added to it. And tempering we are going to do with very simple ingredients. So I'm going to add around 2 tablespoons of ghee to a tempering pan. You can also use a saucepan, that will also do. And in this tempering, we are not going to add any spices. So I'm going to add around half a cup of onion, 1 tablespoon of coarsely chopped garlic, and 1 tablespoon of coarsely chopped green chili. We have to cook this until the onion and the garlic starts to brown. It shouldn't burn. It just needs to turn into this golden brownish color. I think I'll add 1 more tablespoon of ghee here. because I feel it's a little less, and then we'll continue cooking. So a lot of flavor is actually in the oil in which we have infused the onion, garlic and chili. That is why it's important that you use ghee and not some refined oil for tempering. So you can see now the onions have turned translucent and it's at its peak aroma. More than this, it will start to burn and everything will be lost. So we'll now put this straight into the khichdi. So there it is, your khichdi tempered and ready. Give it a nice mix. So you must always have khichdi this hot. It has to be like piping hot. Khichdi used to be or still is for days when you don't want to cook something elaborate. It is a dish that is meant to be simple in flavor and preparations. But here's the catch. Khichdi is almost never served on its own. So we will serve it with some chutney that we had made. This is coriander chutney, and this is how much normally we have. Then what we also do is we take the mashed potato, make a nice ball with it like this, and serve this on the side. And papad, endless supply of papad. So you can run out of khichdi, but you must not run out of this papad. We prefer the one either with pepper or with cumin seeds. And of course, it also needs to have some fresh curd that's served alongside. And the last thing is pickle. This is jackfruit pickle that we add. And this is how, my friends, a whole platter of khichdi is served. There is khichdi and so many things on the sides that takes no time to make. If you could impress someone with simplicity, then this is that recipe. Finally, on top of khichdi, you need to add plenty of ghee. And here's the thing, when you watch several recipes of khichdi, you will see that there are several variations. No one agrees with one khichdi recipe. Some people put certain vegetables like potato, cauliflower, green pea, beans, and some make it spicier. It's not like one recipe is better than the others, but a recipe that remains close to your heart is the one that you will follow for life. I hope you have enjoyed this video. It's one of those recipes that you need to learn to make your life easier, but please don't eat khichdi every day just because it's so simple to make. You need to have variety in the foods that you eat. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon in the next video.